You first heard me. Where did you think I was from?
Ooh. Well, I mean, from looking at you, I would assume the Middle East somewhere, but I'm terrible with geography. So, I assumed the Middle East, but
Based on the look, but when you first heard me.
hmm, I don't think I know. I didn't know.
So let's go back in time a little bit. When we first had soccer practice, and remember me coming outside the line and talking to you about, hey, I want to write this book, and
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, around that time, like, did you have any thought that you thought, well, no, that wasn't even the first time, but that around that time, the first time you saw me, did you remember having any thought thinking, oh, what is this guy from, or whatever?
Well, I knew you weren't from here because you don't sound like us, meaning Southern people.
Right.
Um, but yeah, obviously I knew you were from somewhere else, and but honestly, it's part of it's my ignorance. I didn't have any idea where.
So what gives away that I'm not native? Let's take the looks because I know the looks are just gonna give it away, right?
Right.
But what gives away? Think of it even right now. What gives away that I'm not a native speaker?
Well, hmm, what gives away? For most people, not necessarily you, it's verb tense or getting nouns and verbs mixed up. Um, like with Fadi, for example, I kind of watched his language evolve over time, and he would say them in the wrong order or something like that. But for you, I don't think you did that when I first met you.
Not just
I
when
don't
you
know what the
first
right
met
I
me.
don't know what the word is, but I don't know what dialect means, but it would be your well, almost that it's very proper. Your English was very proper where we are a little bit more relaxed, with the
Okay. Okay.
you speak more eloquently than we do here.
Oh wow. You know what? I was talking to my roommate, and learning English you go through phases, right? And one phase is you want to mimic how the native speakers sound. And I was trying to mimic how you guys sounded. That is difficult.
We're awful. We sound awful as
It's
it's
not
like
awful. You know
the
what? It's
melting
actually,
pot of the United States, like the southern area. We are different.
I don't know why you think it's awful, but let me tell you the my honest opinion, it's very attractive. The way you guys sound, it is attractive, and I'm not even
It's
kidding.
a s- it's a softer sound for sure.
So my dialect was a little bit different than what your ears used to, right?
Yeah, it was more proper English. Like you spoke, you know, I mean, correctly. To be honest, like we'll say things like, um, I done that instead of I did that or things like that.
Yes.
So in the southern culture, we do things that are I give him $20 instead of I gave him $20 or things like that, and you don't really do that.
You know what? That's
Which is
actually, I didn't intend to ask you this question. I'm meeting a professor from school. I intended to ask him this question, but since you brought it up, I think I'm gonna ask you that. Do you think, well, we both know the answer, but let's just talk about it. Do you think someone can be fluent without having perfect grammar?
Yes.
Because you guys don't normally, not normally, not necessarily always speak, like you said, proper English with perfect grammar. So someone with that perfect grammar can sound fluent.
Yes. Definitely.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I wasn't intending for you that
And
question
even
for you.
different areas like urban areas versus rural areas versus Cajun areas versus northern areas versus coastal areas. All over the United States, we sound a little different.
That's true. That's true. Even in Canada, people sound different here. Like I mean, it's a melting pot here. It's like you hear accents from all over the place. But this Japanese guy here, actually, I'm gonna interview him too. I asked him, he said, sure. His English is amazing, amazing,
Wow.
and he's 20. He's 20 years
Huh.
old.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited to ask him, like, how did you get this fluent at that age, and get to see his experience with learning English. All right. So we got done with two questions. Okay.
Okay.
We got five more. How has my English changed since you first met me?
It's almost hard for me to remember when I first met you. It's been a while back,
Okay.
years. Um, but I remember being amazed. It's like when I first met you, you were about to graduate from the University of Tennessee at
Hmm.
Martin with your bachelor's degree. And I was amazed that English was your second language and that when you came to the United States that you did not speak English. I remember you telling me the stories of being on the bus and having difficulty
You remember
getting from
that?
place to place. Yeah, and you were in Seattle, I think.
Yes. Hmm.
You were in Seattle and like you would not know to get off the bus.
Yeah.
And the person I was talking to on the soccer field, I could not believe that like you were getting a degree from a university in America. And when you came, you weren't even speaking English like that. I mean, it just astounded me what an achievement that was.
And
People that
and
that live here and English is their first language have difficulty doing that.
I would, yeah, I mean, everybody have their different circumstances and different parts of the world. Like I studied English. I just didn't speak English. Like I studied English at school. Like I studied, grammar. I studied vocabulary, that. But then I didn't have this communication language. Like literally at the bus, when I was on the bus, that bus driver was telling me, this is my last stop. And I wanted to communicate with him that this is not my home. And I sounded really weird. Like, I was like, me lost. It's like, I'm
Hmm.
just trying to remember whatever I can remember. He said, I remember him saying, does this look familiar to you? I said no. So I would understand, and this is one of the questions I will be asking you. I would understand, but then I wouldn't really know how to communicate, and it makes you look and sound slow and different. Uh, but has there anything that changed? If you could remember any time in the past, has my English changed any?
I'm sure that it has, but it wasn't from the time I met you. You were very easy to understand. It was, um, I'm sure that you have changed because it's been several years, but I don't remember what you sounded like in the beginning enough to say that, oh, yes, it's definitely changed. I mean, I always had an easy
Okay.
time understanding you.
Yeah, I think I knew that, but I asked the person before you that, and he said, no, I never had a problem understanding you. It's just that there was some accent, and he said, I remember asking Cruz. I said, "Where is he from?" Oh, okay. So yeah, I would say that my English has changed personally because when I go back, sometimes Snapchat show you some videos from the past
Yeah.
and stuff, and I watch myself. I'm like, what? Literally in Martin around 2018 something. I'm like, I
Huh.
wasn't that far from this, but I you can definitely see the difference. A hundred
Yeah.
percent. Like I was, you can see maybe a different person. Like I was. This is why, Debbie, I called my account English Mindset because I don't think language is just words. It's mentality, is the way you think. If I speak to you in Arabic, if I literally translate, I'm a different person. You know that? It's like different personality. Like it's literally scientifically proven that somebody who speaks two different languages, they probably have two different personalities.
Really? I
Yes,
could see that.
I think I managed to merge the two so I don't sound very different. So now if I speak Arabic, my whole personality in the Arabic language is very different than what I was. I merged those things. It's very challenging, but anyways, very interesting. I love this. I can't wait to edit all this anyway. All right. So we
I'm
got
trying to
done.
learn I'm trying to learn French right now on Duolingo, and I can kind of see that because when it's hard to speak it and to understand the conversation, I can type it, and write the words down, but almost when I try to speak it, I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
I'm just like, je
Yeah.
m'appelle Debbie, et vous, you're just like, you almost take on a different persona. Like I'm a
Oh
French
my
person
God,
now.
Debbie, you sound, I don't want to sound weird, but you sound really attractive when you are speaking in French. I'm not kidding. You just spoke and you were like,
It's like it does kind of change. It's like an alter ego, like you take on or
yeah,
something.
yeah. That's actually scientifically like proved. All right, all right. Ready for fourth one? Okay. What do I do that makes me sound natural? And what do I do that makes me sound unnatural?
Well, I'd say what makes you sound natural is just the your comfort with the English language, like your intonation and your expression of it. Is just as natural as anyone, and just the way you speak, with excitement or whatever that you're saying, it just comes across as genuine.
Oh, I love
I'm sure
that.
I'm sure it's very difficult, like just from even starting to do a little bit of French, like how difficult it is I can't even imagine. I don't know how you did it. But yeah, you sound very natural with the way your reflections in your voice. What makes you sound unnatural? I don't think you sound unnatural. I really don't. You don't have a southern accent, but you
Hmm.
speak English as good as any, probably better than most people I know.
Wow. So there's any moment that you felt, because honestly, Debbie, sometimes, I struggle with my mood, right? Sometimes when I'm in a low mood, I can't get as close as thinking in English. Like I would, not even in Arabic, it's like different, but it's like I would literally sound different, right? Have you ever came across something like, oh, maybe he sounds different. Maybe he sounds unnatural right now, not his normal self.
No, no, I haven't. But I do, now that I'm thinking, you sometimes. you know that you don't know the words exactly right, and you'll say, "Is that
Mm,
the right word?" And
yeah.
I would say, I don't even know if it's ever not been the right word, but you'll always question yourself if that's the right word.
You know, that is actually one of my coping skills to not be misunderstood or because you know I'm an overthinker. Like if I get misunderstood, I feel like I'm judged or something, I'm gonna think about it all night, you know? So with almost everyone, just like the person I was meeting with before you, I was like, what does that mean? Like I'm literally still learning, you know? And this is something really important for those people who or learning a new language, like you are not gonna get up to a point you're gonna say, "All right, I mastered it. That's it. I can't learn anymore." You will be always
It's
learn.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because our brains are just they keep forgetting. So something you may have heard years ago comes you come across that thing maybe years later. You're gonna be like, "Oh, I just learned that. I just learned a new thing," but you actually learned it before. So what makes me sound natural is maybe I'm comfortable, is what you're saying? Genuine and comfortable.
Yeah.
I think where that comes from is because I always loved the English language. I always wanted, I can't remember if I'm being very accurate, but I think I really, maybe this is the first time I say this, I really loved how to say I love you in English, you know? I really
How
loved
does it
that.
sound in Arabic?
It's أحبك.
Oh, I think I knew that. I heard that somewhere.
أحبك, it's one word. That means I love you. All right. Number five. Okay, so what small things make a big difference in how I sound? Is it my vocabulary, pronunciation, or just confidence? Or something else you might think of? That makes a big difference.
I think it's confidence because the one time I saw you that I was really concerned about you feeling included. We were in Memphis at a soccer tournament. We were at a pizza place or something, the whole team. And all the parents were there and all the kids were there. And I felt like, I could be wrong, but I felt like you were talking to Chase and Chase was like the spokesperson. Like you didn't have the confidence to say what you wanted to say to this group of parents. And that may have been the only time I even thought that. But when um, sometimes you have said things about like you weren't sure you were using the right word, or I could say where I would realize, oh, maybe he's not as confident as I think he is. But most of the time, you come across as completely confident and competent, and I think that's more important.
And that makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Because because if you're not confident, even you know when you try to speak French, when you try to learn and speak it, if you're not confident enough, I don't think you're gonna do it. I don't think
Yeah.
you're gonna. Yeah, that is a very important point. When we were at that restaurant, I was extremely anxious.
Oh, it's probably your anxiety. Yeah.
I was
I
because
didn't
I
think about that.
yes, I was extremely anxious. Everybody around me was an American.
Yeah.
It's Debbie. I tried telling you this before, but it is intimidating to be around people who don't speak your language,
I
especially.
can't even imagine. Like, I've told you 1,000 times how brave I think you are because I could never do what you're doing. I guess I could if I had to, but that what you have done and accomplished is, I mean, like, you're not only speaking English, you're understanding and speaking English at a collegiate level, at a postgraduate level. You've won awards for academics, at a postgraduate level.
That one behind me right there.
So, I mean, seriously, like it's I don't even know in what world I could do what you've done. Like I would be terrified.
Well, like I'm not gonna brag about this. I'm proud about what I accomplished, but it 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 I think circumstances put me where I am.
And I will say this about you. So, I don't know very many Arabic people, but I do know a few. And what I notice about the Arabic language is that it's lovely. It's when Arabic people speak in English or tell me something in English, it's a little more poetic and beautiful sounding, the English words. Now, I'm not talking about the Arabic language. I'm talking about when Arabic people
Yes,
say something in English, the way you would say it, it's even when you talk about God or you talk about um, anything, it's a little more beautiful, a little more poetic, a little elevated from the English language.
you know.
Um, it's not very slang. It's more from what we know as slang. It's more proper and pretty. It's pretty.
I think
Like
that's
like
a
someone would say, like my beloved son, or like we're just like that's my boy over there, and somebody would say that is my beloved son. Like I cherish him. The difference that in that kind of a thing.
oh, definitely. I think that is a genius, Debbie. That is a genius observation, by the way. You know,
Thanks.
I'm not even kidding, because you are 100% right. Because the Arabic language is literally a poetic language, like sound poetic, because that's exaggerating. The Arabic language is more about exaggerating. Um, uh, I wasn't intentionally trying to lie, but it was still my culture that I lived in was so rooted in me that I was unconsciously uh, practicing it. Like I just I want my words to be capturing. I won't, but I think I overcame that. I am very true to myself in a very scary way, to be honest. Uh, and yeah, I'm moving forward. All right, let's move on to another question because it's almost 30 minutes and I have a lot of time to edit all
Oh,
this.
okay.
All right. I think we're done with five.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we're
turn on
done.
this other lamp.
All right.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer for this, but let me just ask you this. Have you ever met people who understand English, but they don't know how to speak it?
Oh yeah, all the time. People with autism or nonverbal people with disabilities that have receptive language, but they don't have expressive language.
Okay, that's one segment that I haven't thought about. But let's think about people who speak different languages right now, and let's think. Okay, have you met anyone who can speak, who doesn't have a disability, who can speak another language, and can understand English, but can't speak English?
I haven't personally, no, but I'm sure that's probably a total thing because it's harder to speak it than it is to receive it and understand it.
And why do you think that happens? Why do you think someone? Because this is very important for my audience.
Well,
Is
you can pick up on key concepts like you can understand that word meant mother, that word meant live, that word meant here, and then for me so a lot of times I don't know if it's this way with Arabic and English, but you have to like if I wanted to say Marie lives in New York, it might get turned around in the other language, and to speak it is much harder than to pick out keywords and then
Oh.
know what someone's saying.
So the grammar you think might be something that makes people get
Yeah,
stuck a little bit?
yeah.
Because a lot of people would actually learn grammar, and even when they learn grammar, it would help them understand English, but they still wouldn't be able to talk. They freeze. They don't know how to get the words out. And
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
this is a very common issue with at least what I know Saudi Arabia, right? So why do you think I'm going to ask you this again? Why do you think that happens?
I think the mental processing of what the words mean, what word means what order they go in, and how to say it that you don't sound like a robot or that you're
Okay.
confused probably, I mean, is difficult. That's a lot of things to put together versus hearing
Wow.
different words and you're like, I can figure out what they're saying because I know a few words. But to try to put all the mental gymnastics of the sentence together and say it in a cadence and intonation that it somebody can get what you're saying, that's just hard.
I love that. That's lovely for this audience to hear because now these questions are not about me, what we were talking about. It's about, you know, this audience. Like it's important for them to hear my experience, but it's also important for them to hear what you think about them learning English. What you think about,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, so you think that it is it's a lot of effort to try to, because it's not just words, it's not just grammar, it's not, it's tone, it's sound, it's body language, everything, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Wow. That's beautiful. Last question. What advice would you give someone who trying to speak English fluently? Let's put an emphasis on fluently.
Well, I'm probably no expert in that area, but what huh, I would say, man, I don't know. I was thinking, oh, you could listen to this person on this podcast or
Yeah.
watch this person on a video, but still, how difficult that is. You can mimic something,
Mm-hmm.
but are you communicating something? Um,
Exactly. Yes.
so I think it's just a matter of actually doing it, like actually speaking the words out loud to someone and just continuously doing that. I even remember when you and I would speak and you would be like, "Oh, I've been here too long. I haven't used my English that often." And you would ask me like, "Do, or you would think you sound like you needed practice with your English, but I couldn't tell. But I know that you felt that way because you hadn't been practicing speaking English."
Yeah. Part of that was my insecurities too, to be honest. I just wanted to make sure, do I sound okay? Do I
And
sound,
I think that would be the way to do it. I think if you could find someone you trust, or someone, it doesn't even have to be somebody you trust, has to be someone that would want to work with you. Like if you had students and they wanted to work with some of your friends here, just have someone that would encourage and support them. And I mean, I just think it's incredible that somebody would want to learn that and try to learn it, and just to get feedback from someone or encouragement from someone that speaks the language. But I think it would just have to be doing it.
so practice?
Yeah, maybe. And practice is one thing because you can practice something the wrong way over and over again and
Yeah.
not get any better. but maybe practicing like Duolingo. I'm saying things into the microphone and they're saying that's good enough, but to actually have a conversation with someone would be a different thing entirely. And even if it's a very elementary conversation,
Yeah.
like I would want to know before I spoke English or went to an English speaking country that I could ask, especially things about transportation and directions and things like that, or safety things. It would be really good to just practice that before you actually went with someone to say, does this sound right? Do you understand? Am I
Yeah.
communicating this effectively?
You're not always gonna have the opportunity because you might be in line and be need to speak something, somebody else need to understand it. You're not gonna be able to ask, "Hey, did I sound good?"
Yeah, but that's what they have you for, right? Like you're going to teach them, and you've got all these contacts with all of us, and then they can feel confident. You're right. It's the confidence. And if I was speaking to someone that was naturally English speaking, it would make me way more confident. I would feel confident in going somewhere and speaking the language.
Yes, yes, that's why I actually another reason why I quit my own people is because Debbie, when we were in Saudi Arabia, we hang out. All of us who played soccer, we hang out together. And it's like we hang out in one room and play card games, smoke shisha, you know what that is? And we do that. What happened when we go to America? We just take that room, bring it to America. We do the same thing. We don't practice English. That's why I had to quit that
Uh,
lifestyle. I had to quit my own people. Other things played part of it too. But one thing that I had the desire to work on my English, I was like, I'm in America. I need to expose myself to these people, and I need to. First, I was like, I want to sound like them. Because to me, you guys sounded attractive. You sounded like respected, heard, and smart. And I wanted to be that. So yeah, you're right. So speaking with someone who speaks the language, so get like practice, speak it with someone who can encourage you, who speaks the language. And yeah, the person who I met before you was saying the same exact thing. He was like, exposure, exposure,
mhm.
exposure, exposure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. And the right exposure to someone that is encouraging and building your confidence, or I mean, to me, a lot of us in America sound, I don't know, brash and egotistical, and we want our opinions heard and we want to talk over everyone else. But just to be able to um, have someone to support you or encourage you in something that's very difficult to do would
Yeah.
be really valuable.
Do you think you're gonna have someone who can maybe guide you and encourage you learning French?
Well, Ivy and Jackson are learning it at the same time, but that's not the same as talking to someone that's French before I go
Exactly.
there. So, no, but I think I'll be okay.
So how are you
Because
learning
I'm not
it?
like you were. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to be alone. Um, but I think that a lot of places will have English speaking people here and there sprinkled
Yeah.
in. And when it's the other way around, like it's hard to find. I think what I don't know. I guess it's just hard no matter what. When you're learning another language and you're surrounded by people that speak it fluently, and I can't imagine how long it takes to be confident in that, but obviously it can happen because look at you.
That is very true. That is very true. It takes time, but I think it takes that desire, I would say, that you want to do something. Because look, you have witnessed how stubborn I can get, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same with me when I put something in my head and I know that it's accomplished, like I can accomplish it, even if it's something that I never thought I could be good at, just like playing soccer. I remember myself during practice when I was a kid not being able to, you call it juggle the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't able to do two of those. I can do 100 right now. More than that, not right now, well, of course. But, before I got hurt, I can do 100, and just keep going. But uh, that desire, I think, when I put something in my head, I try to find the resources to get there no matter what. If I'm not hurting myself, if I'm not hurting anyone, I'll do it. But
So being stubborn is a gift if you use it in the right way.
yeah,
Okay.
if you have any questions, I'm gonna try my best to answer them. Don't expect perfect answers, but shoot.
So what was your decision based on when you decided the very first time that you were going to leave everything you ever knew in Saudi Arabia and come to America? Why did you want to do that?
Honestly, because I was working in this oil company and I wasn't living, basically, because I loved soccer so much and I was working too much 7 days a week that I couldn't play soccer, right? I see my friends play soccer. I see that is one reason I'm coming to the other ones. And and I tried to change that so for me to be able to play soccer and just live normally. My work was an hour and 40 minute one way, hour and 40 minute coming back, 7 days a week, three different shifts. I needed to change that. And I did almost everything possible to do that by not quitting that job because I worked in a company that was everybody's dream job. Everybody you think of in Saudi Arabia wants to be employed by Aramco. It's the oil company. I had a job that could guarantee me my life, my kids' life if I had kids, my grandchildren's life. I was gonna be so rich if I continued, right? But then I was also struggling with depression at the start of it. And then I started talking to my mom, to my parents. I was like, I don't want to live like this. I want to play soccer. I want to I want to live. I see everybody's doing their thing and I can't. And that's the turning point. That's when I felt like I need away from here. Like because nobody was listening to me. Like I needed to make this. I don't know if it was impulsive, but it might seem like it because literally, I think I regret quitting that job. Uh, my mom tried her best for me not to quit because she knew it was going to be a really bad decision. But yeah, that's nobody was hearing what I was saying. Nobody was listening. I even talked to one uncle of mine that he's big in this company. He can like move me from this place to that place within one day. And he told me that. But when he told me, he said, I want you to learn how to be patient. I was like, I can't do it like this. I need to live. So that was like my last nail in the coffin, if you could call it. I was like, nobody's listening to me. And then I think my mom had me call somebody who she thought was wise, and he said, "Why don't you go to America? You sound like you sound smart. That's one thing." And then I was like, "Okay, that sounds cool. Can I play soccer there?" He said, "Of course you could." Like I'm crazy about soccer, Debbie. I don't think I expressed that enough. But anyway, so yeah, so I talked to this person, and that's kind of I made that decision after, and I quit that job. I remember my mom crying, and all that, and I did it. I did it.
How old were you then?
2021, something like that.
So, what is the biggest difference between you in Saudi Arabia and you in America or Canada?
Wow, Debbie, you're talking about a total different person. I was this impulsive guy who wanted to debate about everything. He wanted to argue about everything. Who wanted to win every conversation. I was goofy. Oh, I loved that version of me. I was goofy. Debbie, I can make fun of everything. And it's kind of part of who I was. And the different me right now, definitely more mature, definitely more patient, definitely more loving, definitely more less impulsive. Definitely, I'm not impulsive. Uh, and I'm more of a listener right now than somebody who wants to win a debate. I don't want to win debates. I want to listen to you. I want to keep being a positive impact because I already was when I was there. And I think that's pretty much it. So personally, yeah, it's a jump.
Well, where do you have a vision of yourself in 10 years from now?
Probably gonna look old.
I doubt it.
uh, 10 years from now, I think you might be a little bit surprised, but 10 years from now, I imagine myself um, living in a house peacefully with a wife, maybe two rascals too, uh, having a job, just, helping the community. I think that would be perfect. That's all I need.
I love it.
That's
I think that sounds
that's
good
literally,
too. Like,
yeah, that's literally what I
I
dreamed
hope that
about.
you somehow end up working with, um, I don't know, you have a lot of giftings, but definitely I see that with children just because you were Cruz's coach, just watching you with the kids and um, the most important thing is to have skill and then people want to pay attention to you. And then if you have that charismatic personality or the encouragement, like kids are so easy to love because all you have to do is love them, like, or pay any kind of attention to them, and
Yeah.
they love you automatically. It's just like you said, not do you want to be right or do you want to gain a friend? Like, would you rather have that person in your life or do you want to just always be right? And it's the same. I think it's similar with children, but I've always seen that in you that um you always say the right thing. That's the other thing about your language, you in particular, um, because you've been through a lot and you can articulate, like, for example, with Chesney and her anxiety, you can articulate that in a way that she can't. So I learn a lot from you. And also the way you can, if some of it's just the way you can articulate things because, well, all of us, our life experience gives us things we can
Skills.
help others about. We
Yeah.
can, we go through things to help others and to see that you're helping others with those things. Like the amount of people you could help, a lot of people, even with your injury, your soccer
Yeah.
injury, like you know what that's like. I don't know what that's like to lose, love something like that and then get hurt and lose it, but you do. And I mean, look at you. You're still up, you're still fighting, you're still, you're moving and shaking and creating new things, and you're creative, you're doing these videos, you're motivated internally to do things. Like it's just you've got a lot of skills.